All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, Bar None 11970. It is currently the 17th of August, 2017. The time is 6:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and as usual, I always start my videos thanking each and every one of you for listening to what I have to say. And hopefully you will listen to this with an open mind. Hopefully you'll listen to the entire video. You'll share your thoughts, you'll communicate with others, and maybe you'll think of something that can help us fix this world. So with that being said, the first thing I want to do is give a little shout out to somebody that I was talking to a little while ago. It's a subscriber that messaged me on Facebook, and I'm just going to say the first name. I don't know if it's a code or a real name, but I want to give a shout out to Rainey. And this subscriber was talking to me about, how they're enthusiastic about changing the world, and they believe that money is the only way to do it. And after the conversation, this individual started to, what I like to call, understand that you are limited to your thought pattern. In other words, if you really believe the only way to make change in the world is by having lots of money, well, then you're always going to have to be geared towards that way. That's like saying there's only one way to go to your friend's house. There are no other roads. Well, if you will choose to go down one road, well, then that makes it true. So you are limited only to your heart, only to your ability to choose, or to choose not to do something, or to discourage yourself. So at the end of that conversation, this person, Rainey, started to realize, because like I always say, you need real eyes to realize that there are other ways. You just have to stop limiting yourself. Because, like I said to this individual, if money was the reason to make the world better, then why is it every major corporation, every major religion, every president or government official, or every multi-billionaire / trillionaire is doing everything in their power to keep us impoverished, keep the world in the condition it's in, which is gearing towards war and separation and division and hatred and fear? So if money changed the world, why is it the people with the most amount of money are doing everything to keep the world the way it is? It's all in your mindset. So the biggest advice I can give, because especially if you're watching videos like this and you're here for the right reasons, you are attracted to whatever energies are coming out because you tend to resonate with them. That means that you are on a specific path. And maybe you do want to help change the world, and you get frustrated by, what can I do? Well, if you have a heavy stone in front of your house, let's say it weighs a half a ton. If you try and push it yourself, it's not going to move anywhere. If you sit there and just stare at the rock saying there's no way I can move it, well, it's not going to move an inch because all you're doing is standing there complaining. The more people you can get involved, the faster things will move. So I understand how people want to change the world and they want to do it tomorrow. Well, if you want to have a marathon, the first thing you have to do is get on the track, and then you have to start racing. So it's all about your actions, and that all boils down to choice. So one of the biggest things that I recommend for people to do is first find something that excites you. Don't do it for money. Don't do it for power. Don't do it for greed. Because then, if you achieve your goal, you'll be corrupted just like most people in high power are. Because they get addicted to that money, or addicted to that power, or addicted to the fame and fortune. And they get easily corrupted. And maybe that's one of the reasons why many people that want to change the world tend to be impoverished. And probably will never win the lottery. Why? Because money tends to corrupt. Or shall I say currency, because it's not really money, it's all a Ponzi scheme. So there are infinite ways to change the world. You can't change the world if you do nothing. You can't change the world if you believe you can't do anything. And one of the biggest things that you have to do to change the world is first change your world. is because how can you change the world and make the world a loving place if you don't feel love for yourself? So it's like school. There's a reason why in kindergarten you're learning 1 + 1 is 2, and you're learning your ABCs. Because if the first day of school your teacher tries to teach you physics and algebra, you won't know what's going on. And you'll get frustrated and you'll walk away. And that's why the powers that be always make things so complicated. It's because they want you to be frustrated. They want you to end up giving up. So it is all from within. You first have to change your world in order to change the outside. And that is why we are all in the position that we're in, because we're not learning. How can you truly be free? Because this person, Rainey, said, you know, they want to be free. But they also wanted somebody else to come up with the answers. And I said to this person, and I'll say it to everybody, how can you truly ever be free if you are always relying on someone else or something else to do something for you? That means you're giving part of your energy away to something else in hopes that they are aligned with your frequency and in hopes that they will do the right thing. Look at all the leaders throughout the world. We give them our energy, whether it's through work, our belief system, our money / currency, our confidence, our protection. So we give all of this energy to them to do things for us, to be representations of us. And yet, how many people are very happy with the jobs that they are doing anywhere in the world? How many of them are using that power for good? That is what happens when we say, here, I don't want to do this, or I don't know how to do this, so you do it for me. Well, if we keep giving our power to people who are corrupt, people who continually do the wrong thing, people that are used to being full of greed, well, is there any surprise that things are good for them and worse for us? But the beautiful thing is that can change, and I see Rainey is here, so hello, Rainey. This video is actually dedicated to you, and I'm glad we had our conversation. And I hope you will find a way. It's all, see, here's the secret to this world. This is all just a game. You're playing a video game right now. You are a physical manifestation of your own energy. In other words, your soul is nothing more than light. It constructs a physical, quote-unquote, being to be able to survive in this third-dimensional / fourth-dimensional realm. It's like needing a swimsuit and a breathing machine to go underwater. You're just visiting. And that's why when you, quote-unquote, die, you start all over again. It's like a video game. So when you are sad and depressed, you're not motivated. So how is that going to help? But sometimes you need to be sad and depressed to learn what you don't want. And that's what we're constantly doing, is we're constantly learning. And you can learn more from your mistakes than you ever can from your successes. Because when you have a success, you don't need to change it. And eventually, you might take it for granted. But your failures, if you pay attention to them and learn from them, you can become better. But unfortunately, we're taught that failure is bad. And if you cannot succeed, let others do it for you. And there's a saying that says, if you want something done right, you must do it yourself. And this world has been conditioned by the people who control us for us to put our faith, power, energy, trust, money, currency, whatever, in their hands. Now, if they were doing a good job and everybody was very happy and the world was a peaceful, calm place, then I would say, well, you should continue to do that. But it's not that way, is it? And people are getting frustrated. And what do? They try and, quote-unquote, vote in another person that will just be as corrupt. That is why even somebody like Donald Trump, I know people love him or like him, but what change is he doing? How many promises is he keeping? Even if he was 100% sincere, he is not a dictator that can snap his fingers and change anything he wants. The masses in the government have to approve things. That's why they keep stopping things from happening. And they get us to fight amongst ourselves so we could be nice and distracted. So if you want to change your world, first, stop listening and stop giving your power and energy and strength to people who are going to use it in non-productive ways. If you open a door to get out of a room and there's a brick wall, you failed to get out of the room. Well, if you close that door and sit there crying and don't do anything, you're going to be stuck in that room because you could be upset that you failed. Well, break the wall down or find another way out. There's always another way. They don't want you to know how much power you have. That is why if you look at, for example, like the movie Wizard of Oz with Dorothy, she had to learn through bravery, heart, and brains to know at the end of her journey that she had the power to go home all along. She just wouldn't have believed it in the beginning. But she went from belief to knowing. And that's what people need to do. They need to stop believing. And that's another thing I left advice with Rainey at the end of the conversation. I said, don't believe in yourself, know yourself. Don't believe you can do something, know you can do something. Because if you say, I believe in something, it means you're not sure. It means you have doubt. And how can you achieve something when you start out with doubt? If you want to change the world, you have to change your world, which means you have to unlearn what you have learned. You have to think in a different way. You have to look from within. You have to let go of the anger and the hatred. There's a reason why so much negativity is in this world. Because when you focus on the negativity, it keeps you down. It's like somebody putting a 5,000-pound weight on an air balloon. How high will it fly if it's being weighed down? But here's the trick. Even if somebody was successful in tying that 5,000-pound weight to your air balloon, instead of crying about it, cut the rope and set yourself free. It is that easy. It's when you believe that you can't is when you end up knowing that you won't. So change your mindset. Make it into an exciting game. Because think of all the glory in your life and how many people will idolize you if you are the one that helps to change the world. And you get more and more people to help change the world. Because like the big stone analogy, let's say you have a half-a-ton stone. You're not going to be able to move it by yourself. You're definitely not going to be able to move it by yourself if you're sitting there crying about it, or sitting there praying about it, or sitting there wishing it would move. But you can change it if you get more and more people to help you move it. Things move faster when you have unity. That's why a drop of water can do nothing to you unless it's all compiled into a raging flood headed your way. But it wasn't one drop that did the damage. It was billions upon billions of combined drops to turn into something that nothing in this world could stop. And that's why you could take one twig and break it in half easily. Try and do that with 1,000 twigs. Try and do that with 1,000,000 twigs. Or go to math class and study twigonometry. Hopefully somebody smiled at that. But that's the whole point. This life is a game. This life is a learning lesson. You came here to learn something. So if you're experiencing bad things, learn from it. Ask why are the same things happening over and over again. Life is telling you 1 + 1 is 2, and you're not learning it. So you have to keep being told that 1 + 1 is 2 until you figure it out. Once you figure it out, you don't have to learn it anymore. So if the same things that are hurting you or depressing you or angering you or frustrating you or keeping you down or keep you enslaved or keep you impoverished, they keep repeating, it's because you're not learning from them, and life is saying, hey, stupid, wake up and learn the lesson. Stop crying and saying, woe is me. because you didn't learn that 1 + 1 is 2. Just learn it. And then it won't repeat anymore. And Mother Goosekeeper says you can't pour anything in a cup that's already filled. Of course you can. You can empty out the cup and fill it over again. You're only limited to your own ideas. And see how quickly I can come up with something? And of course you could pour something into a cup that's already filled. Just keep pouring it, and the stuff that was already in there will flow out and be replaced with something new. That's what I'm trying to do with our brains and our hearts and your energy. It's just because even if it's already filled, doesn't mean it's permanent, doesn't mean you can't refill it, doesn't mean you can't pour something in new and get rid of the old. Look at all the oxygen you breathe in. Do you keep that oxygen in your body forever, or do you breathe it out so you can get new oxygen in your body? You are here because you chose to be here. So why cry about it? Why be depressed about it? Why be angry about it? It's your choice to do nothing, or to sit around and wait for somebody else to do it for you. But if that's the case, then why complain that nothing's being changed when you're in front of your house looking at that rock, wondering when somebody's going to come and move it for you? Figure a way to get rid of it if you don't want it there. It all depends on how much you're willing to use that thing in between your ears called the brain. You're only limited to your doubts. So you want to change the world? And obviously if you're listening to this type of video, you obviously are here because you want to try and do that. Then figure it out. Find a way. Use that brain. Stop thinking of, oh, I can't, or it's never been done. Say, I will, and I'll be the first. Otherwise, we're going to all sit around waiting for some new government official who's going to say the right things and get your votes and hope that they're going to do the right thing that every single one of them that said that previously couldn't or wouldn't do. They make themselves rich. They take all the property. They only take it because we allow it. Remember, consent is not only agreeing, it's not arguing. Why do we continue to consent to governments throughout the world that are full of corruption? And let me tell you something. I had a conversation with somebody last night, and I'm not going to mention their name, but this person supposedly says they work for the government. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't care. That is on them if they are honest or dishonest. It's irrelevant to the conversation. But they were saying that they knew all about me and that the government has been listening to me. And I was talking about, and this person supposedly works for the government. And I said, how can you work for somebody that corrupt? And we got into the point of talking about how, you know, they're creating genocide and they help kill people. And this individual said, well, they do it in a way that people don't know about. And I'm like, you think that's okay? To get rid of the masses and to thin the herd? And I said to this person, I don't want to ever talk to him again. If that's what you really believe, then you're not somebody I want to associate with. But there are people out there with that mindset that you give them enough currency, they'll do anything that they can, including make up a BS story if that's what it was. I don't know and I don't care. But if somebody really thinks that way, that's a pretty sad way to live. But it is their choice. Free will does not necessarily mean everything's going to be wonderful if you just sit around and do nothing. Because somebody else's free will to ruin your day can affect your day if you don't do anything but cry about it or complain about it. And what is everybody doing in this world right now? They're complaining, saying, oh, you have to like a certain thing because I like a certain thing. You have to agree with a certain way because I agree with a certain way. And that's BS. You don't have to like everything. You just don't have to hurt anything you don't like. I don't like broccoli. How many people right now are going to bash me to death because I don't like broccoli and they do? But yet, if you don't like somebody nowadays because of their choices or their religion or whatever, you're supposedly chastised for that. Now, you have the right to not like anybody for whatever reason, but you don't have the right to injure them or stop them from being just as alive as you are. But this world is telling you now, you got to conform. In other words, they all want you to be robots, all thinking, looking, acting, and being the same way. Because it's a lot easier to control a bunch of unthinking sheep than it is a bunch of men and women that have free thought and are not afraid to use their brain. So they want to condition people to be sheep. All be the same, all look the same. Oh, we're all one. Well, we are all one, just not in this realm. This realm, all one, is all about control, not unity. Like they say, well, just follow what they do, not what they say. And Rainey does say, fear is a big controller, only if you allow it to. You were taught fear. When you're born, and I hope no one does this because something bad could happen, but if you took a baby and put it in a box filled with tarantulas, it would sit there laughing hysterical, trying to pet these fuzzy little things crawling all over it. It wouldn't sit there and say, oh my God, I got to get out of here because there's these tarantulas. You're taught fear, but fear is also good. It's beneficial because it keeps a person from jumping into a box of tarantulas, because that's not a really smart way to go. The problem is people think of fear as bad, as something you need to control. No, you need to learn from it. Why are you afraid of something? Why is something keeping you back, holding you back? That's on you. Stop putting it on other people. Stop asking other people to do your job. Now, it's okay to listen to other people's advice. Obviously, that's why you're listening to me. And if any of my words help you to become a better person, then it obviously worked. But if you come here expecting me to do everything for you, then what's the sense of having your own purpose in your own life? You might as well be a robot, hand me the remote control, and I'll guide you wherever you want to go. Is that the life you want to lead? But that's the life of billions of people on this planet, sitting there with their hands out saying, please give me a couple of your scraps. You could fly around in your Lear private jets. You can have no worries in the world. You can take everything just by the snap of a finger because you have many people that you can give trinkets to who will kill and steal for you. It's all a choice. So if you want to change the world, then why aren't you changing the world? Why aren't you thinking of something? Why aren't you excited about the positive nature of what would happen if you were the one, or you were one of many, who decided to no longer sit idly by and allow corruption to rule the day? And you may get a bunch of trinkets from these corrupt people. That's why some people, they will sell out. And that's why if that person I talked to the other night was being 100% honest, which I question, they're getting probably a bunch of trinkets, because this person was telling me they were on a private jet. So they will give you a bunch of stuff to sell out your fellow humans. But just imagine if you were totally free. Just imagine that you could have everything. Why have some when you can have all? And share all with everyone so everyone has all. You can't change what's in the past. You can't change what's in the future, because the past is already gone and the future will never come. It's always in the now, always in the present. What are you doing now? Not what have you done or what you're planning on doing. What are you doing now? And Rady made another good point about talking about, you know, a combination of energy from people can change the world. Well, that all depends on the energy that's coming out. One dead horse has the same energy as 1 billion dead horses, because they're all dead. Think in a different way. Think outside of the box. Stop conforming to the information that they provide. Stop listening to the fear porn that tells you, oh, tomorrow there's going to be a nuclear war. Because then you do nothing to change it and you allow it to happen. Well, if you don't want it to happen, why aren't you doing everything in your power to stop it from happening? Oh, well, I've been insulted before, or I've been laughed at before, I've been ignored before. Okay, so you want to give up? Then don't be surprised that something bad happens. I've been doing this since 2011. The more subscribers I get, the less amount of people actually watch. That's because YouTube is trying to hide it. But yet, even no matter how hard they try and silence me, there are still people like yourselves who are watching this live, and the people that will be watching this days, weeks, months later, that are still getting through. So the message will always go through unless you choose not to send it. The world is all about vibrations. There are different levels of energy. They want to keep you in the lowest form because you become more solid, more mass, more easily controlled. You're easy to control when you're sad and angry and depressed and scared. Then you rely on others to protect you and save you. They always come in. They cause the fear, and they say, oh, come to us and we'll save you. Save you from what? The very things that they're doing? No, thank you. Once you understand how the game is played, you can't be played in the middle of the game. Because that's all it is, and that's why there was a famous comedian that once said, it's just a ride. You create your own amusement park. There will be people that will go to your amusement park, and they will mock it and make fun of it and criticize it. There will be some who will go there and have a great time on the rides. There will be some that will never visit your amusement park. But remember, that amusement park's for you. Don't just build an amusement park to allow other people to enjoy it. Enjoy the rides. Enjoy your creation. You built it. To the victor goes the spoils. And if you don't like what you built, tear it down and rebuild it. Sitting there crying about it does nothing to fix it. Sitting there angry and depressed about it doesn't do anything to fix it. Sitting there praying about it doesn't do anything to fix it. Wishing and hoping, that does nothing. Other than waste your time. You're in a submarine underwater with a limited amount of oxygen and only a limited amount of time you could stay down there. So if you want to achieve something, you better move quick. Or allow others to continue to do things for you and wonder why things are not getting better. It's all a choice. And I won't tell you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what you need to hear. Because you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to hear it. So look in the mirror and say to yourself with all your heart, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to do. Take that step or don't complain. So if you want to be, going to a place where they'll patronize you and they'll tell you everything that you want to hear, there's plenty of channels that'll do that. A lot more popular than me, and they make a hell of a lot of money doing it. Or you can come to the realization that you're here for a reason. You're here to grow and learn. And if you think that is the thing and you feel that in your heart, then do something about it. You have to take responsibility. The day you take responsibility is the first day you take that small step. And that small step will be further than billions of people on this planet who are crawled into a ball afraid to move because it's too scary in the dark. When all they have to do is light one little match, and one tiny little match will fill a room full of darkness with light. Try and do that reversed. Take one little match size worth of darkness and put it in a room full of light. You think it's going to change a thing? But take one little tiny match in a gigantic room filled with darkness and watch how quickly the light takes over. The dark is scary because it's full of the unknown. But why is the unknown always bad? Anyone ever have a surprise party? Anyone ever get a Christmas present that they don't know about? What's inside? Isn't it exciting to open it up and see it's something that you've always wanted? Or it's a pleasant surprise of something you didn't know you wanted until you got it? Why is the unknown always bad? When you were a kid, you rushed down to the Christmas tree if you celebrated Christmas and saw, hopefully, tons of boxes that you had no idea what was inside. But you didn't sit there and say, oh, I don't want to open these. I don't know what's in there. I'm scared. No, you tore into them and said, let me find out. And you were excited by what you found. Well, get that energy back. Stop being afraid of the unknown and start saying, I wonder what's in this box. I wonder what exciting thing I can discover today. Because I'm so tired of what I already know. Here's what you already know. There is corruption in this world. There is fear in this world. There is poverty in this world. There is division in this world. There is greed and people that want to hurt and murder people in this world. That's the familiar. That's what you want to stay with? And you're scared of the unknown, which could take you away from all of that? Talk about being in love with your captors. They've conditioned you to be afraid of the unknown because it's different, and they want you to stick around with everything that makes you miserable. And people at one time used to call me crazy? Well, if that's what it is to be crazy, then I'm thoroughly insane if that's the case. Change your mindset. Be excited about the unknown, not fearful of it. They want you to be fearful of the unknown because they want you to stick with this. It's like being in a relationship where somebody is beating you to death all the time and you stay with them because you're used to it and you're familiar with it and you're afraid to be on your own. Well, I'd rather be on my own and not being beaten up than stay with the familiar that beats me every day. But it's all a choice. How ridiculous is it to stay in evil just because it's familiar and be afraid of the unknown when it could be the best thing in your life? See how easy you can change your mindset? You don't have to become a millionaire to change the world. You don't have to be having 5 million people to change the world. How many people that are listening to this right now, whether you're watching it live or watching it later, how many of you have had one of my videos or one of my words help you on a better path? Did I need millions of dollars to do it? Did I need 1 million followers to do it? Did I need some Harvard University piece of paper saying that I am certified in whatever to do it? No, I did it because I did it. And I wasn't afraid to do it. Now it's your turn. And that's why they say, united we stand, divided we fall. There's no unity when all we do is hate each other. People are so focused on their anger, they wonder why every day there's something else to be angry at. They're so obsessed with their hatred that they wonder why there's another thing today and tomorrow that you'll hate. For every bad thing you could focus on, you could just equally choose the good. And remember, like I said, with the light, light always wins out with dark unless you don't light the light. So that room will stay dark if you're afraid to do anything because you don't want to see. Most people don't want to light that room even with that little match because they're afraid to see what's there. It doesn't always have to be a ghost and goblin. You never know. You could light the match in a dark room and find the pot of gold. Stop thinking so negatively. You know, people I talked about in videos past that, oh, is the glass half full or the glass is half empty? The glass is neither. It's 100% full. Because the glass is halfway filled with water and halfway filled with air. I didn't say to you, is the glass half full or half empty with water? I just said, is the glass half full or half empty? You only thought in a physical realm. You only thought about what you saw, which is the water. Instead of saying, wait a minute, that glass is completely filled. It's partially filled with water, partially filled with air. Combine the two, you have a full glass. Even if there's no water in that glass is full. Listen to the words. Think deeper. Think bigger. And you will change the world. Until then, you're just going to listen to another motivational video that might inspire you a little bit to do something, and one day you'll fail once and you'll give up. Well, you want to win a race? I don't care how many times you fall. You get back up and continue. Otherwise, whose fault is it you decided to stay down? So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for listening. Comment amongst yourselves, subscribe, share this. I can't do it without you because remember yesterday's video? YouTube already flagged it and said it's unadvertiser friendly, which means every time I make a video, they automatically say it's unfriendly advertisement. When my videos now, especially nowadays, is all about inspiration. So YouTube has automatically decided to flag my videos, and watch. I can make a video right after I set this up, and it will say that it's unad friendly. But notice I'm still making the videos because I don't give a damn about their currency. I give a damn about the truth. I give a damn about you, and I definitely give a damn about me. And if they think they're going to stop me because they're going to take away, what, $120 a month in advertising? Ooh, hold me back. So if anybody wants to join my Patreon account, it definitely helps. You don't have to, and I don't encourage anybody to do it unless they can. Because YouTube is going to do everything to try and stop me. But they won't stop me. Why? Because I choose not to. Same for you. Don't let anyone else stop you. Find a different way. You could take many ways to go to your destination on a highway. Think of that even more grandly in your life. Because with the highway, you're just subject to roads. In life, you're subject to your imagination. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you next video.